Have you ever imagined a fight tournament in the style of Dragon Ball, where the DC characters had to battle each other and then the winner has to face Darkseid? And I'm not talking about the regular Darkseid, I'm talking about a super powered Darkseid capable of conquering the entire universe in an instant. Who do you think would win this tournament? How can Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, or any other character become strong enough to go toe-to-toe with Darkseid? Once again, the fate of the universe is at stake and your mind is gonna blow with this new saga. So without further ado, let's check out the beginning of the DC K.O. saga. The story kicks off with Superman getting ready for yet another fight. He thinks of this as just another battle, a game to be won. But for this tournament, he's not going empty-handed. He brought his punch gauntlets filled with tiny suns, which he forged in the Fortress of Solitude. The narration mentions that Superman has faced demons and gods in other dimensions, so what's one more fight, right? Suddenly the door to the Coliseum swings open and Superman is shocked. And that's the prologue to this saga. The story then shows how it all began when Clark was playing a board game with Wonder Woman and Batman. He wasn't doing so hot in his Justice League game and complains about all the bonuses being bad-themed. He glances at the box and sees that the game was made by some guy named Matches Malone, but Bruce responds that he's never heard of him. Lois pops in and warns about those games where people end up losing. She says that's not really Clark's style. Diana thanks for the invite while Bruce is absolutely crushing it in the game. All the heroes are genuinely having a blast, not just as teammates, but as true friends. They play for over an hour until out of nowhere the sky turns red. Yep guys, an emergency arises and guess who shows up out of nowhere? It's Darkseid, more powerful than ever, attacking Metropolis. His Omega beams don't just destroy, they consume everything, even down to the tiniest atoms. The heroes spring into action, but Clark feels like this time it's different. And it really is. The attack isn't just to Metropolis, it's across the entire universe. Gotham, the Rock of Eternity, even Oa. Darkseid is everywhere at once, bringing about the end of everything. The first hero to fall is Batman, followed by Wonder Woman. Finally, only Superman is left, flying toward the villain, but he too is defeated, bringing it all to a close. The story then shifts to the Watchtower, where the Justice League is met by the Quantum Quorum, made up of the World Forger, Gorilla Grodd, Booster Gold, and the Time Trapper known as Doomsday. It turns out that everything we've seen, the fall of the Justice League and Earth itself, was something told by the Quorum. They explain that this isn't a vision, it's something that has already happened in the future and will happen again in 7 days. A clue is the message from Lois confirming the board game in 7 days. With that, the Quantum Quorum user gains powers to rewind time by 7 days. The League wants to know how to prevent this, and Doomsday says it's impossible, not this time. The Quorum has explored every variation of the timeline and they all end the same way, with Darkseid consuming everything. The heroes aren't convinced, but that's the truth. Doomsday's suggestion is to give up and start fresh, creating a new timeline. He even mentions that this has happened before when Dr. Manhattan created the New 52 universe. Nightwing says that's out of the question because everyone would forget everything. But Doomsday insists that at least they'd be alive. But just like we saw in Avengers Endgame, there's always an alternative, right? And that's what will be revealed next. Meanwhile, Batman finally speaks up. He wants to understand what's happening and how Darkseid got so powerful. The World Forger reveals that Darkseid became the King Omega by creating an absolute universe using Omega energy. He explained that there's two main energies in the universe, Alpha energy and Omega energy. Every planet generates Alpha energy except Apocalypse, which has Omega energy generated in its core. When Darkseid created his universe, he planted what they call the Heart of Apocalypse in the core of Earth. This explains the strange events happening, like the appearance of parademons which show up in the Justice League comics. Darkseid gained power from the Omega energy created by his own universe. He became absolute and self-proclaimed King Omega. His main goal now is to consume the entire universe with this energy. As Darkseid approaches Earth, the effects of the Heart of Apocalypse come into play. Batman asks if it wouldn't be possible to control this heart and turn one of the heroes, just like Darkseid did with himself. Grodd thinks that's a terrible idea, while Doomsday states that the only way would be to blast the heart with Omega energy. The problem is they don't have that energy, but Batman argues that Booster Gold possesses Omega energy. He was trapped with Darkseid for years and recently managed to escape. Plus, the reports from the Watchtower indicate that he has high levels of Omega energy. Batman asks the World Forger to explain it to everyone. The World Forger reveals that the Heart of Apocalypse is sentient and would seek a champion, but this champion needs to have a thirst for conquest, which the heroes don't have. Also, it wouldn't be easy to reach the heart, as it would defend itself and even modify reality. Doomsday believes the heart would reshape itself to conduct tests to see who would be the champion. Those tests would be in various challenges, and each level would get increasingly difficult. Flash mentions that taking down parademons would be a breeze, but Grodd warns that it won't just be parademons, they'll be competing against each other too. The winner would become a cosmic entity capable of taking on Darkseid. Batman understands that whoever wins could change reality and shape the universe. Booster Gold confirms that, and Doomsday questions whether the heroes would be willing to compete without mercy. They all look at each other, and Superman suggests they forget this ideal and just walk away. After that, while Superman watches Earth, Batman and Wonder Woman show up to convince him to join the tournament. Of course, they're worried about the consequences. For example, what would happen if the Joker or a Lex Luthor won? Diana says they're discussing these details and how to keep the villains from joining, plus who's gonna protect the world while the heroes are away. Batman says this could actually work. Superman remembers what he saw when he died at Darkseid's hands. He believes it would all end up under his control, the villain. He doesn't want to play this game, but Diana argues that they would play together to win, and he convinces him. But of course, just convincing them and agreeing to enter the game isn't enough, right? That's what we'll see next, how the heroes get ready for this game. The Justice League prepares to execute their tournament plan. They have just 7 days to choose your champion before Darkseid reaches Earth. While the tournament is happening, the Corps must slow down time until a hero is crowned as champion. On the first day, Mr. Terrific captures all the villains in the world with his T-spheres. Superman meets with global leaders to explain the situation, and they all decide to work together. Cyborg and others team up with LexCorp, Wayne Enterprises, Queen Industries, and other companies to build mega arcs using Brainiac's technology, which could be used if the worst happens. On the fourth day, the heroes take some time to be with their families. While taking this time, Clark Kent hears everyone's concerns, reminding himself that he's doing this for them. Guys, pay attention to these details involving Superman. His worries and everything surrounding his actions aren't for nothing. Keep an eye out because without a doubt, he's going to be the character in the spotlight of this saga. On the fifth day, each hero gears up for battle. Batman suits up in his Justice Buster 2, Diana checks out her Godkiller armor, Cyborg gets an upgrade from the Father Box, and Superman equips himself with his Punch Gauntlets. On the sixth day, it's time to go. With all preparations complete, the heroes head to the Skartaris Nexus, the passage to the center of the Earth. Booster Gold channels Omega energy to open the path, unleashing a powerful energy blast that stops the Heart of Apocalypse for 0.7 seconds, but that's just enough. Once the heart resumes beating, the heroes have a miraculous vision, imagining that they're winning. Soon, the arena gates swing open and the tournament begins. The story then returns to the beginning, where Superman is preparing for the tournament. Everyone is sucked into a void, and the tournament starts abruptly. Superman tries to move forward, but he's blocked by three giants who insist that he waits for the others. It doesn't take long for us to see the other heroes already geared up. The giants explain the rules of this game. Those who manage to cross the scenario will continue in the competition. The tournament will start as soon as one of the giants drops their mace. At this moment, Billy Batson jokes with Superman, saying they're finally gonna find out who's stronger. However, he's crushed before he even transforms into Shazam by the weapon that kicks off the fight. He's the first to fall. Next, Superman leads the group through the arena, but he gets distracted by the giants and catches a scolding from Batman for not paying attention to the game. After all, he needs to play to win. Little by little, the heroes are falling, walking right into the traps. Adam Strange, Green Arrow, Blue Beetle, and others are taken down. Omega demons show up right after Jay Garrick steps on one of the traps. Harley Quinn, who's nearby with Red Hood, calls him Zombie Boy and shows she's loving this battle. This game is like a huge board game, and even the page is organized that way. Everyone moves like pieces. Supergirl, Wonder Woman, Vixen, Zatanna, and Metamorpho manage to cross the finish line. Meanwhile, Superman tries to save as many as he can, battling against several demons. When Batman finally reaches the end, he gives Clark another lecture for not competing. Suddenly, he's stabbed and killed by the Joker, who shows up alongside Lex Luthor, Giganta, Cheetah, King Shark, and Starro, who somehow have broken out of prison. With his last breath, Batman tells Superman to remember everything he told him. Well guys, Batman is out of the game, but hold on, he didn't actually die. He will have a different role for the rest of the sagas. What happened to Batman shocks Superman, who, filled with rage, watches as the villains wipe out his friends and cross the finish line. He then annihilates the remaining demons and zips through the portal at an incredible speed, causing everything to shake as he reaches the portal for the next challenge. And just like that, the first round's winners are determined. The narration displays the 32 remaining participants in the tournament. And the big question is, who will be the King Omega? It's soon revealed that the narrator is the heart of Apocalypse itself, and it knows who will win. The heroes who seem to be dead are transformed into stone statues, like chess pieces on a board. The heart promises twists and surprises, and then we see the big plot twist, the three destroyers, who are actually Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman from the Absolute Universe, apparently working for Darkseid. In narration, it's revealed that no hero will win because Darkseid possesses one of them and plans to use their power to become champion of the Prime Universe. It seems the one possessed is Booster Gold. The tournament may have started, but the heart of Apocalypse claims everything is already decided. Guys, despite this, who do you think will win the tournament? Who's gonna go up against Darkseid in the end? Is it really gonna be Superman? Comment below who you think will win and what battles you're hoping to see in DC K.O.
The big question is, will Absolute Batman, Absolute Wonder Woman, and Absolute Superman stand with the heroes from the main Earth? The fight between them will definitely be epic, and for those following the channel, you already know some surprises are coming in the next editions. So, to not miss out on everything happening and stay updated on the biggest comic sagas, go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you're always informed. And before you leave this video, another question lingers about the heroes from the Absolute Universe. How did they end up there? At what point does this take place? If you're feeling lost about the Absolute Universe, click here for the playlist to get the scoop on what's going down over there.